from the Derry's Gym in the Asheville suburb of Swannanoa, North Carolina, the Warren Wilson Owls are on the air. Hello everyone, I'm Marky Bilson, giving you today's action between the Warren Wilson Owls, who come in with a record of 3-4, and the Columbia International Rams. Let's give starting lineups now. The starting lineups for today's game: Columbia International coming in with a 3-6 record. They're on a 5-game losing streak. Warren Wilson 3-4, trying to get to be 500 before they play Johnson University on Friday night. If you're wondering, I'm pinch hitting for Chris Sheeman. He's a little bit under the weather. However, he is producing today's basketball game, so he's not too bad off. It is the great Wilson Broadwell on the camera today. Now let's give you the starting lineups in case it didn't come through on the public address right there. For Warren Wilson, the point guard is Tashia Oglesby. The point guard is Keela McMurray, and Tasha Oglesby and Shay Glenn are her guards. Lindsay Bodner is in the lineup, as is Jacina Hall. Jacina celebrating her birthday today. She's 22. And those are the forwards. For Columbia International, Rebecca Harrison is the guard, and she is accompanied also on the wing by Makita DeSouza. It is Alea Knox at the point. Raven Fleming and Ann Davis are the forwards. That's the starting lineups for the Rams of Tammy Holder, veteran coach, former assistant at South Carolina, and formerly the coach of the Seattle Reign of the Women's American Basketball League back in the 90s. She has moved to South Carolina over the years, likes it, and is now taking on the challenge of starting up the Columbia International program in their second year. You see the tip? It is won by Fleming and the Rams. This is Knox at the point as the Owls start off in a 1-3-1 zone. It was the plan of Robin Martin in her first year coaching the Owls to start off in a zone. They want to make the Rams shoot from the outside. Shot there, successful, 2 points for Knox. And it's 2-0 in favor of Columbia International. The point is Shay Glenn. Shay takes it out to the wing. That is McCurry. Trying to get it inside to Oglesby. The three-point shot, it's a little long from Glenn. Rebound there by Knox. Will take it up the court, down the right wing. Top of the key. That is Hairston giving it, and a shot from the left wing from number 22, Makita D'Souza, is no good. Rebound goes to the Owls, trying to tie the game up. We're a minute into the game. Warren Wilson coming in at 3-4, Columbia International 3-6. As I mentioned, they lost 5 in a row. Steal there, give it to the center inside. That was Fleming. Fleming dishing it off at the shot underneath by Hairston, does not fall. Hairston is the leading scorer of the Rams, averaging about 14 points a game. But there, a traveling call. And the Owls get the ball back with 18:27 to play in the first quarter, looking for their first basket of the game. Glenn giving it back to the front, Oglesby, and now it's McCurry. Top of the key, this is Glenn. Shot long from McCurry, doesn't fall, goes off And possession out of bounds goes to Columbia International. It will be the half-court style. The hope for first-year coach Robin Martin, who came from Warren Wilson from Penn State Lehigh Valley. As we see a shot from the corner there, that is Hairston. Does not fall. Rebound goes to Wilson. And number 12, Keela McCurry, with taking it up court after getting the rebound. But the idea, and both teams now in a zone defense, the idea was to make Columbia International shoot long range. A steal here. This is Bodner, not Bodner, but rather D'Souza taking it up the court. Knox, top of the key. Getting it underneath, that's Fleming. Fleming throws the ball away. And so we're almost 3 minutes into the game, and the Owls will try to tie up this 2-0 game on this possession. Glenn trying to get it inside. That's Bodner. Bodner, the freshman from Toronto, Ohio. The shot doesn't fall, out of bounds, though, last touching a ram, and so Warren Wilson with possession. And 3:06 into the game, Warren Wilson can tie it, but the problem is the score is 2-0. These two teams played earlier in the year. Columbia International with a narrow 7-point victory. The game tied there on Lindsey Bodner's shot. Bodner, 5'10" freshman, a former Red Knight from Toronto, Ohio, that is. A 2-2 game here with 16.5 left first half. Out on the wing, that's Hairston. Hairston doesn't like what she sees, gets it back out to Knox. Back inside, and this is Fleming. Fleming, the shot rejected inside. What's the call? Give the ball to the Owls. Fleming called for reaching in. First foul of the game. So these two teams playing the zone, they both had trouble getting the ball inside. And in the previous matchup, which was a 73-67 victory on November 4th for Columbia International, and there, an Owls turnover as they can't get it inside. Taking it coast to coast and shooting a 12-footer that is true. That is Knox, her second field goal of the game. She has all 4 points for the Rams. They lead at 4-2. The zone defense still in effect for both teams, but getting it underneath there. And a whistle blowing as Sasha Miller into the game here. 5'8" junior. Forgive me, that is not Sasha Miller, that is Lindsey Bodner. Forgive me, Lindsey Bodner, as I formerly mentioned, former player from the Ohio Valley Athletic Conference, one of the largest high school conferences in the country. Rebound there by McCurry. The shot here, almost a granny style from Oglesby, doesn't fall. 5 minutes into the first half, and it's still 4-2. Columbia International. Try to get it inside. Nice pass right there. And Davis flipping it back outside, but the Warren Wilson zone again taking off shots underneath. Shot from 3. Count it! Rebecca Hairston. And it's a 7-2 game. Hairston is probably the best three-point shooter on the Rams, but it is not something that they do often. Substitution being made. Keela McCurry comes out, and coming into the game, it will be the aforementioned Sasha Miller. Miller out on the court along with Bodner, Oglesby playing the point now, Glenn and Jacina Hall. Shot underneath, and that is the newcomer, Sasha Miller, 5'8" junior, putting it away, Massachusetts native. 7-4, the score. Columbia International leading it. Columbia International, formerly called Columbia Bible College. Shot there from 3. No good, but a whistle blows. Knox can't convert the 3. Well, Columbia International generally doesn't like to shoot threes. Foul there will be charged. To Warren Wilson. Lindsey Bodner with the personal foul.
Shot clock.
Shot clock violation? I'm sorry.
Shot clock's got reset.
Oh, the shot clock is at reset. I was trying to figure out how it was going to be a shot clock violation. Still in the zone. Getting it underneath to a newcomer into the game. It's the local product, Abigail Siemens. Abigail Siemens from Asheville Christian, but her shot doesn't fall. It goes out of bounds. And so with 13:50 remaining, first half, it's still 7-4 in favor of Warren Wilson. The Owls trying to cut the deficit or possibly tie the game with a 3. But here, I believe we're going to see, is that a reaching in foul? Is trying to drive the baseline was Bodner. And I believe it is. Second foul on Columbia International. Let's see who it's on. Over, way open in the wing, the long 3. It can't fall. McCurry, the shooter there, getting underneath, and it's Siemens playing center now, trying to get it inside. She can't get her shot to fall. Rebound, and it doesn't fall for D'Souza. And now here come the Owls down by 3. Foul, by the way, was on Siemens before her first. Shot won't fall there from Miller. Hit the back of the rim. Rebound going to Columbia International. Top of the key calling the play. It's Knox. Knox and a 3-pointer from the wing. It's a little short from Hairston. The leading scorer can't extend the 3-point Columbia International lead. Here come the Owls. Standing top of the key is Hall, getting out to the left wing. Both teams still in the zone. In the earlier matchup, and we're going to see substitutions coming in at the next whistle. 3-point shot there for the Owls. Glenn couldn't convert it. Long rebound, trying to get it up the court. Glenn tried to redeem herself with a steal attempt, but Knox was able to come up with it. And there she is again, trying to disrupt the half-court offense of Columbia International. 8 minutes into the first period here. 3-point lead for the Rams. Trying to get it inside. Whistle blows. What's the call? A foul on Jacina Hall. First personal foul, second team foul for the Owls. Both teams with 2 team fouls. Substitutions here as Tia Evans comes in and will inbounds the basketball. Also coming in, it is Kim Asbury for Columbia International. For the Owls, Brogan O'Brien coming in at a guard position, as well as Renee Shore. That is Stevens, her shot a little bit short. Rebound for the Owls, it's Hall. Hall playing away from the bucket. Still the zone defense. The 2-3 involved here for Columbia International. Hall getting out to the wing. Now he doesn't like the right wing. Now let's try the left. This one, the Ohioan tries to get it on the baseline, but her shot is wild. So Bodner couldn't bring it in. Whistle blows with 11.5 left in the first period. But instead, the Owls retain possession, down only by 3 points. Hall will inbounds underneath the basket. Hall dishing it out to the top of the key. It's Bodner here. That won't be for 3. Wild shot Bodner averaging just over 8 points a game. Now she's playing in place of an injured player. Lil Bradbury sprained her knee against Alice Lloyd, and it is doubtful that she will be back on Friday when the Owls play Johnson University, the Royals. Turnover here for Columbia International. And so now the Owls with a 3-point play, be it on a field goal or a field goal with a foul shot, they can tie the game up. Hall standing top of the key. Bodner. She has not made a field goal yet, and that one hit the side of the rim. Rebound, and here comes the fast break all the way. But the layup is wild. Rebound goes to Columbia International. A foul called underneath. On the steal, it was Knox. It was D'Souza with the shot. Third personal foul on the Owls. Free throw attempt here, and it is good by D'Souza, and so it's an 8-4 lead for Columbia International. Foul on Shore. One of only 2 seniors in this game, both for Warren Wilson, the other one being Jacina Hall. Rebound after the missed free throw goes to Columbia International, so they can take a 6-point lead on this game possession. This is Knox. Knox from 15. Her shot doesn't fall. Layup doesn't fall. Rebound, Columbia International. That rebound doesn't fall. The third attempt doesn't either. The Asheville product fighting for the ball, alternating possession, goes to the Rams. And so we're almost halfway through the first half, and it's still a low-scoring 10-4 game. Not the way the first game was. About ready to get some information here as we have some substitutions. Try to set the 5 here for you. 10-4 Columbia International, 8-4 Columbia International trying to take a 10-4 lead. D'Souza right now playing the point. Even underneath the Seaman. Seaman stolen away. That is Bodner. And Chris has informed me that both of these teams are combined only shooting 5 for 24. And now they're 5 for 25. 20% shooting. Well, that's been par for the course for Columbia International. That's Bodner. She's wide open, and she connects on the field goal. Her first points of the game. That's an 8-6 game. 9.5 remaining first half. Take it out to the wing. Shot from 16 is true. Give it to number 15, Carrie Jones. So a 10-6 game favor of the Rams. Rams trying to break a 5-game losing streak. Get it inside to Bodner, but the shot blocked. Columbia International's Kim Asbury, 5'9" actually. A junior. So Bodner will go to the charity stripe. Shooting 59% this year from the free throw line. Shot up, it's good. And we're going to have a substitution coming out for Warren Wilson is O'Brien. Coming back in is McCurry. McCurry, Hall, Bodner shooting her free throws for Warren Wilson. They're joined by Glenn, and as that one misses, there's also Tashi Oglesby on the court. 10-7 our score. Columbia International with the lead and the basketball. Fleming dished it off there to Jones. This is Hairston. Steal there, and a fast break attempt. Bodner trying to run down a loose ball, give it underneath that to Oglesby, but Her pass errant. Here comes Columbia International. It's 1 against 4, taking it coast to coast. 12-foot beautiful shot there by Hairston. Her 5th point of the basketball game. It's 13-7. Columbia International with the lead. Most points the Owls have trailed by today with just above 8 minutes to play. Hall for 3 from the left corner. Count it. Hall's first points of the game. She's averaging 12.3 a contest. Jones thinks about a 3. Top of the key is Fleming. This shot won't fall. Underneath the rebound, Hall put a hand on it, but it was last touch, I believe. Well, the whistle blows with 7:37 remaining in the half. And there's a foul on Robertson of Columbia International. Shateza Robinson, her first foul. Both teams have 3. 7.5 to play. Warren Wilson trailing 12-10. I think I said 13-7 at one point, and I was incorrect. It is actually a 2-point deficit. That shot doesn't go. Rebound, and now a tie game. 12-footer for McCurry, her first points of the game. Whistle underneath. We'll have a substitution. Coming out of the game is Robinson. Coming in, Ann Davis, the 5'11 freshman. Most of the players on Columbia International are freshmen and sophomores. There is one transfer, Kim Asbury, who's a junior, as well as Erica Hightower. They're juniors, but this is only a second-year program, so no seniors for Columbia International. 2 rebounds, doesn't get the basket. The third one does. Davis with her first points, and it's a 14-12 Columbia International lead. So 14-12. Earlier I thought that a shot was for 3, but it did not work out that way. Oglesby, to Glenn, trying to get it inside. Going into the paint, but doesn't like what she sees when 3 Rams converge upon her. This is Miller, and the shot clock goes. She does get the shot off, an errant heave, and now looking to extend their 2-point lead is Columbia International, but the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by an Owl, I think it was Oglesby. Tasha Oglesby, the 5'8 sophomore from Cheverly, Maryland. O'Brien going out, the Waxham, North Carolina native. Coming in, it's D'Souza, Michaela D'Souza. Check that. Rebound underneath, coming in. It's Davis with her 4th point. 16-12 is the score. Favor of the Rams. Rams won the earlier meeting between these two teams, 73-67. Coach Martin felt that as we see a 3 here, doesn't fall for Glenn, in and out. Whistle blows before the rebound can be netted by Fleming. And it'll be a foul underneath for Fleming. Substitutions here. O'Brien coming back in for the Rams for the Owls along with McCurry. Good play right there by the Ohioan, Bodner, to not travel, and now she gets the ball. Her layup, though, won't fall. Rebound goes to Siemens. And with 5.5 left, Columbia International, who's on a 4-0 run, can take a 6-0 lead. Siemens tries to get it inside. Nice layup right there for Ann Davis. Her 6th point of the game, 18-12. Owls trying to combat a 6-0 run. Slowing it down a bit is McCurry. This is Glenn. out on the left wing. Columbia International still in their wing. Columbia International 5-18 last year. They're 3-6 here. Shot there. O'Brien couldn't get it to fall. It was blocked inside. Give credit to Davis. And now here comes Columbia International trying to take. Is this going to be an 8-0 run? No. Rebound goes to Glenn. She's taking it coast to coast to the charity stripe. Her shot from the lane won't fall. Rebound goes to Knox and the Rams. 4.5 left in the first half. Rams up by 6. Get it underneath, working the baseline. Doesn't like what she sees. Nice 8-foot jumper right there by number 22, D'Souza, for her first field goal of the game. Third point of the game, and it's an 8-0 run for Columbia International. A 20-12 lead with 4:14 remaining first half. You're listening to Warren Wilson Basketball on the Owls Network.
Whenever you want.
20-12, Columbia International with the lead against Warren Wilson. Columbia International on an 8-0 run. They won the earlier matchup between these two teams, 73-67. Columbia International, we had mentioned this has not been a game featuring very good shooting. 1 point, both teams had combined to shoot for 20%. That has been sort of par for the course for Columbia International. Many times, their previous game, for instance, they only shot 23% in the second half. Long range jumper there doesn't go, but the Owls, it's Hall with a rebound off the floor. Glenn, her 16-footer won't fall. Long rebound going to Columbia International, coast to coast, and our whistle blows. Is going to be a travel or a foul, and we shall see. It is Hairston, Rebecca Hairston, who's been the leading point getter, or if you prefer, scorer, for the Rams this season, averaging about 14 points a game. She'll be inbouncing it. Gets it underneath for Siemens, and the Asheville product with her first points of the game. A 10-0 run for Columbia International. They lead at 22-12. 3.5 remaining here in the first half. I so much want to say period. My hockey training there. Hall on the left wing. Both teams have played good zone defenses, which has exploited the weakness of both teams' outside shooting. There, a weak pass by Warren Wilson as Shore throws the ball away, the senior from Muncie, New York, committing a turnover. So now Columbia International can extend their lead and their run to 12, if not 13. Try to get it inside, but the ball stolen away. Foul is called. Both teams with 5. Lindsay Bodner with the foul. 6th foul against Warren Wilson. Next one will be a 1-and-1 attempt for Columbia International. But first, they take a 13-point lead on Hairston's second three-pointer of the day. The strategy Robin Martin wanted was to have Columbia International shoot from the outside. She thought in the previous meeting that she had allowed too many points underneath, and that's why both teams have been in a zone defense today. The shot here for Glenn. That halts the run. Three-pointer for Glenn, her first points of the game, and it's 25-15 now in favor of Columbia International. 2.5 left in the first half. Dish it underneath. D'Souza lost the handle. Here come the Owls trying to cut it to a single point deficit. Long range shot. Glenn a little too long. Rebound there going to Columbia International and D'Souza. D'Souza trying to go. The fast break underneath. Easy layup for Davis. Her 8th point and a 12-point Rams lead. 2 minutes to play first half. Shot is to, that's Oglesby, and then this is Glenn on the wing. Trying to get inside, but reaching in. I think we'll have a foul on Davis here. I think I may have nicknamed Ann B a couple of times. The actress who played the housekeeper on the Brady Bunch. You all remember Alice. It was Ann B. Davis. I have no idea if Ann's middle name begins with a B or not. Ball goes out of bounds with a minute 38 left. Or if you're a Georgia Bulldogs fan, perhaps you would prefer 98 seconds. Hall, and this pass swatted away out of bounds. Knox not getting a turnover or a steal, but at least jamming it up. 19 left on the shot clock. This is Bodner. Bodner with only 2 points today. Can't get the shot to fall. Rebound goes to Columbia International. 12-point lead for the Rams. They're trying to extend it a little bit more. 20 on the shot clock. A minute 15 left game clock in the first half. Boy, that one off the backboard. Knox. Aaliyah Knox from Clover, South Carolina with her 6th point of the game. A 14-point Columbia International lead. Here, a 2-point shot, and Lindsey Bodner collecting her 5th point of the game. 29-15. We're less than a minute left. Clock stops momentarily. Shot clock still in effect. 55 seconds remaining. Columbia International can afford to be deliberate here with a 12-point lead. This game was tied at 12. Davis underneath, can't get the rebound to fall. Bodner. This is Oglesby. Oglesby trying to drive the lane with 32 seconds left, and she is fouled. Second foul on Davis. That's the 7th foul on Columbia International. A 1-and-1, or excuse me, shooting in, not a 1-and-1. They're now in the bonus and will be shooting 1-and-1s as a substitution comes in, as Davis comes out, and coming in is Shateza Robinson, collecting the 2nd free throw. Was the Rams. And now they can't play for the last shot. There's a 2-second differential here between the shot clock and the game clock. But that clock, now that shot, wild. Now the game clock is the only clock that matters. 12 seconds left. The Owls down, but now by less, as that three-pointer cuts it to an 8-point deficit. Shot in the last second and fourth. It counts. Hairston with her 10th point of the game, and that makes it a 31-21 Rams lead at the half. Well, this game was tied at 12 apiece, but then Columbia International going on a 12-0 run to take command of the game. They've got a 10-point lead at halftime. You're listening to Warren Wilson Basketball on the Owls Network. We're back here in Asheville at the DeVries Gym. I am Marky Bilson. I'm a pinch hitter today for Chris Sheeman, the Lenny Harris of the Owls Sports Network, I suppose you could say. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, but is to my right producing the game, and he will be with you on Thursday when Lise McRae comes in to play the male Owls, Warren Wilson's men's basketball team. Here, the women's basketball team has endured a tough first half. They trail 31-21 to Columbia International. The Owls 3-4. This is a game that it's too early to say something like that could define their season, but just to show you the circumstances, on Friday, Warren Wilson's female Cagers will be hosting Johnson University, the Royals from Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, they come into today with a 7-1 record. Johnson is playing Bob Jones today, but that's a game, obviously, a team 7-1, that if you're 3-5, it doesn't quite give you the mental mindset to take on such a team as being 4-4 and coming off of a victory to a team that bested you before would have. Now, I'll give statistics, but if you've heard the first half, you heard that I talked a lot about the zone defenses that these two teams played. Keep in mind, neither one of these two teams outstanding outside shooters, although it should be said that for Warren Wilson, they do have three players in their lineup, and in their starting lineup, Jacina Hall, Shea Glenn, and Keela McCurry, who are all shooting above 40% from outside the three-point arc. So with the score of 31-21, the possibility does exist for the Owls to come back in a big way with the three-point shot. And you saw a little bit of that here on the Owls Sports Network at the end of the first half. It's a 10-point deficit, but a couple of threes cut the deficit to 10 points here, where you can still think about that you're still in the ball game. Give you a little bit of background. Again, on November 4th, these two teams played, and Columbia International won 73-67. It was their second victory of the year. It made the Rams a 2-1 basketball team. And the now 3-6 Rams were able to win the game because oftentimes Coach Robin Martin felt that they were able to drive inside against the Owls. So the strategy today, make Columbia International shoot from outside. So far, a team that rarely shoots threes, well, they're still not shooting that many of them, but they're 2 of 5 from beyond the three-point arc. Compare that to, say, against Southern Wesleyan when they were 1 of 8 for the entire game. Now let's give you a little rundown here of the scores. Leading scorer of the game so far, Rebecca Hairston, averaging 14 points a game for Columbia International. She has 10 at the half. Ann Davis has 8, all on 4 field goals. Ataya Knox with 6 points. 3 points for Makita DeSouza, 1 from the field and 1 from the charity stripe. And a basket apiece for Carrie Jones and Abigail Siemens. That makes up the 31 points Columbia International has scored. They are shooting 40% from the field. Warren Wilson, who has only shot today 28.6% from the field and just 50%, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. They are led in scoring by Lindsay Bodner, the Toronto, Ohio native, with 7 points on the day, but she's attempted 9 shots. That's the problem from the field. 4 points for Tashi Oglesby, 3 points apiece for Shea Glenn and Jacina Hall, and that is something to think about here with Hall, who had been averaging 12.3 points a game, only having 3 points so far on her 22nd birthday. 2 points apiece for Keela McCurry and Sasha Miller. Also remember, Shea Glenn in the first game between these two teams had 25 points. She has been limited to 3 on 1 of 7 shooting today. Now, 5 of those shots came from beyond the three-point arc. In fact, Warren Wilson has shot a lot from beyond the three-point arc. They are 3 of 11. As we see on the basketball court, you might see that Robin Martin dressed in orange today, and I kidded her a little bit before the game. The opposing coach, and really with a great resume, 25 years in the business, is Tammy Holder. And Holder is a former assistant at the University of South Carolina, so I thought perhaps wearing the Clemson orange, although it's a bit lighter of a color, except for her high heels, might have been, something in demand. She said that was coincidental. But Coach Martin likes to wear the fluorescent colors. In the team photo, you saw her wearing a bright shade of green, a lime green. Getting possession to begin the second half, it's Columbia International with a 10-point lead. On the court, it is their starting lineup: Rebecca Hairston, Ann Davis, Raven Fleming, Aaliyah Knox, and Makita D'Souza. Shot here does not fall for Hairston, the leading scorer with 10 points. On the other end of it is Oglesby who can't get the shot, and Bodner can't get it to fall either, but a foul is called. Foul is called on D'Souza. That is her first personal foul, first of the half for either team. Bodner 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. Again, 59% coming into the game. She hails, I've mentioned the Toronto, Ohio, and the reason why I wanted to mention this is she makes the first shot to cut the deficit to 9 points. Toronto, Ohio is the hometown of a very famous pro football player from the old days, from the leather helmet days. Second one in and out. But Clark Hinkle, who at one time was the leading rusher of the National Football League, hails from her hometown. On the third attempt, netting it, it is Raven Fleming getting her first points of the game. And it's an 11-point, 33-22 lead for Columbia International. Fleming the leading rebounder and on the Rams, and she gets an offensive rebound to give the Rams an 11-point advantage. Trying a long pass to Glenn, and she cannot keep it. Turnover here. Here come the Rams, but it's a 2-on-3 trying to take it all the way, but she is fouled. That is Knox. Knox with 6 points, and I think she's going to go to the free throw line for the first time. Tasha Oglesby getting her first foul. Knox, 5'4" sophomore from Clover, South Carolina. Free throw making it a 12-point lead. And it's 13. Knox now with 8 points. And a 35-22 lead for the Rams. Owls trying to do something about it. Remember, they took 11 three-point shots in the first half, converting 3. And a zone defense inviting the Owls to shoot from outside. One of the 40% shooters makes it. Keela McCurry, her 5th point of the game. A 9-point lead, a 9-point lead for the Rams, who have possession. It's Knox, doesn't like what she sees, and losing the handle on the basketball is D'Souza. And so here come the Owls with a chance to cut it to 7. Hall taking it up court. Oftentimes it's McCurry playing the point, but not here. But now breaking it up, it's Davis, and Ann Davis getting the turnover, and it can be with 17:48 remaining in the game. A double-digit advantage for the Rams again. This is not Hairston, but Fleming. It counts from 16 feet. 36-25. 4 points now for Fleming. McCurry on the point. She's off to Glenn. Starting lineup in for the Owls. Try to get it inside to Bodner. Shot clock goes off, but a foul, I think, is going to be called on Columbia International. Tammy Holder stating, "Are you sure?" The foul is going to be on Raven Fleming for reaching in, and it's her third personal foul. Second foul of the half for Columbia International. Bodner misses badly. She'll get a second chance from 14, doesn't fall. Rebound goes to Knox and the Rams. Trying to extend the lead to 13. Doesn't like what she sees. Maybe it'll be 14. Three-point attempt here by Hairston doesn't fall. Offensive rebound, a foul called underneath. This one might be on Hall. No, it's on Glenn. Shea Glenn. Second foul on Glenn. Going to the charity stripe, it's D'Souza. 5'4", redshirt sophomore. She's a New Yorker. Gets the free throw to fall. (37-25) our score. There's a three from McCurry. Doesn't fall. Long rebound Hall. Owls still have possession. Oglesby trying to shoot over two Rams. It's errant. Rebound. Long one. A fight for the ball. Alternating possession will go to the Owls. And so with 16-19 remaining in the game, Warren Wilson can cut the deficit to 10 here. Hall will be inbounding. On the wing, gives it back to Hall over in the left corner, but she doesn't like what she sees. That defense penetrating in. Oh, she just splits it, going through the lane, shooting from the hip, cutting the deficit to 10. Hall now with 5 points. Shot from 18. That is Knox, but a foul called. The net is up. That is one thing about the gym here, the DeVries gym. The nets tend to get tangled up in the rims. I've noticed that. .12-point advantage for the Rams as Warren Wilson tries to get back in.
Because they're made of hemp.
Over in the corner. This is McCurry. Shot doesn't fall. Long attempt at the rebound. It eventually goes to Davis, who's tried to take it all her way. Bounce pass. Count it with a foul. Well, in this level of basketball, and it is D'Souza getting the field goal with a attempt from the charity stripe. This could be a 15-point lead, and it is. For D'Souza, she now has 7 points. 3 fouls now on the Owls here in this half. That might wind up being of benefit to them if they have to foul to try to get back in this game. There are at least 5 field goals down now, and they're going inside, down by 15. Glenn, and her shot rejected by Siemens, the Asheville product, Abigail Siemens, back in the game. Abigail, her parents, Michael and Lori, are here, as well as the Bee Tree Christian Church. Some of her friends from there getting a chance to see her play. A lot of the players on Columbia International say that they are attending, felt that there was a calling to attend the university. It is a religious school, used to be known as Columbia Bible. Getting back to the action, Oglesby missing her first free throw as And she makes the second. She's now 2 of 4 from the free throw line, a 14-point advantage. The foul actually was on Siemens, who has the ball momentarily here as she tries to go into the lane. There she is with the ball. Move there, but her shot doesn't fall. Rebound Davis for the Rams. Her shot can't go. Long rebound. Who's going to get it? Looks like Columbia International. Credit to Souza for hunting the ball down and getting a new 30 for Columbia International. They can take a 16-point advantage here, but there is a reaching in foul, I think, going to be called. I think they're going to give the foul. Who's it going to be on? McCurry, I believe. It'll be the fourth one as Columbia International gives possession again. Shot does not foul. No, it is actually on Sasha Miller. Forgive me, Sasha Miller in the game. She's wearing number 13. And you see on YouTube the ball go out. This could be the 9th victory. The score stays up in the history of Columbia International basketball for the women's side. Siemens can't get it to go in front of the home crowd, but the rebound, and it goes to Davis, and Ann Davis getting her 10th point of the game. She is destined to be nicknamed B. I'm sorry. Or maybe she likes the Brady Bunch and won't be sorry. Who knows? Ball goes out of bounds. It's off of Bodner of the Owls, and so here Columbia International can take a commanding 18-point lead with under 14 minutes to play in the game. Owls stay in their zone to get inside to Davis. She wants to go back outside. So they're going to be a traveling call, I believe they say. D'Souza walked with the basketball, and so a chance for the Rams to get 30 here on this possession. They trail 44-28. Top of the key is Glenn. It's McCurry on the wing. Get it back out, top of the key. Hall. Glenn trying to get inside. Bonner doesn't like what she sees. Wide open for three. It's Hall with 7 on the shot clock. Doesn't fall. Rebound to Souza. Here she comes for Columbia International. Trying to give her team an 18-point advantage with 13 to go. They'll slow it down. Half-court offense. Gets it inside Siemens. Doesn't like what she can get there. To Souza. Back to Siemens. And inside, a basket and a foul. Give the foul, I think, to Miller. It'll be the 5th. 4th point for Abigail Siemens, 5'10 sophomore. She had 13 points against Southern Wesleyan, did Siemens. Now goes to the free throw line. Can't make the shot, a little short. Rebound goes to the Owls. 18-point Columbia International lead. This is Miller, but she walks, I believe, with the basketball. So with 12:44 remaining, Columbia International can double their halftime lead. It was 31-21 at the half. A basket here of the 2-point variety would make it 48-28. Open is D'Souza. This is Knox. Puts it inside. To Harrison, subbing Davis for a minute. Whistle blows and turnover here. So Warren Wilson will have a chance again. And how many possessions has it been? They're still sitting on 28 points. It's Bodner getting underneath. Clark Hinkle would be proud. Her 4th field goal, and I believe I've got her now with 11 points on the game. Timeout on the court. 12:07 remaining in the game. 46-30. Columbia International leading Warren Wilson on the Owls Sports Network. think both teams now with 5 timeouts. What? Okay.
Can you tease the broadcast coming out of this?
Sure. We are back. By the way, both teams with 5 timeouts, 3 full and 2 20 seconds. Coming up on 2 days, Lees McRae will play the men's team here at Warren Wilson, a 7 o'clock broadcast. And the good news is Chris Sheeman will be back for that one. Friday, Johnson University comes in, 7 o'clock game against the women of Warren Wilson. And the Owls Sports Network will have that one too. Ball goes out of bounds. And Warren Wilson can cut the deficit to 14 with a bucket here. Less than 12 to play as McCurry takes it across the timeline. The starters in, the exception of Miller for Wilson. She's in for McCurry. Check it out. This is McCurry. I'm sorry. She's in for Oglesby. McCurry's long shot doesn't fall. So it is actually Miller in for Oglesby. McCurry thought about it. This is Hall from 3. Count it! Her second 3-point shot of the day. 8 points for her. The deficit now 13 for Warren Wilson. Crowd beginning to get a little bit more enthused. Shot there, in and out from Hairston. Rebound. Give it to Miller and Warren Wilson, who can cut the deficit to 11 with 11 to play in the game. Minutes, that is. I think you figured it out. It wasn't second nor years. Hall over on the left wing. Get it inside. Miller. Shot from her chest doesn't fall. It's the back of the rim. That one from 12. And a rebound there, but a whistle blows. It's Robinson on the rebound. And Bodner, evidently, she's throwing the elbows around a little bit too hard. And she connected with Bodner. So Robinson collects her second foul. Both teams now with 5 fouls. So they only have 1 foul to give before the teams start shooting free throws. And for the Owls, that might be welcome. Hall will inbound. Able to get possession and keep the clock down. Trailing her by 13. Tries to get it inside. This is McCurry. Doesn't fall. Rebound to Siemens. By the way, O'Brien in the game now for the Owls. As the ball goes out of bounds, she is playing in place it appears, of, well, Glenn not in there. It is right now Glenn in the game. I'm sorry. Let me set the 5 for Warren Wilson playing defense. First, this bucket. Count it. Nice shot there by Raven Fleming. Her 6th point all in this game. Or, excuse me, all in this half. Obviously, all in the game. Shooting it over O'Brien. Hall in the game, as well as McCurry. Glenn and Oglesby. So she's in for Bodner. Is O'Brien, 5'10 junior O'Brien. 48-33, that's the score that Columbia leads it by. Columbia International is to shoot the McCurry, but she is fouled as this game now is becoming rougher and rougher. Raven Fleming has just committed her 4th foul. Fleming, one of the leaders of Columbia International, their leading rebounder. And she will have to sit on the bench with 9:41 remaining. McCurry, a 62% free throw shooter, averaging 8 points a game this year. Misses the first shot from the charity stripe. She has 5 points on the day. Substitution here, Davis coming in. Going out, Kim Asbury. So Columbia International now with Davis, Hairston, as well as D'Souza, Siemens, and Knox taking it up here, trying to penetrate, goes out to the wing. Nothing there. Go underneath the Davis. Davis collects the layup, but is there a foul instead? Did she commit an offensive foul? No, this one is going to be on the Owls. O'Brien with the foul, her first personal. And from here on out, the Rams are going to be shooting free throws. Davis makes the shot. That's her first free throw attempt of the game. Davis now with 13 points. Glenn, top of the key, trying to penetrate the zone. She'll try for a three instead. Count it! Her second three-point attempt. 6 free three-point field goals for the Owls today, but they trail at 51-36 with just under 9 minutes to play to Columbia International. Knox, wild heave out to the corner in the right side. Get it inside to Siemens. Her turnaround shot won't fall. Rebound goes to the Owls. Hall with the rebound. Glenn taking it all the way, but she loses the handle to Knox. Here come the Rams. Knox coast to coast all the way. Her shot, and she will be, I believe, fouled here. That'll be the 7th, and that'll be on Hall. Third personal foul for the senior. 5-3, but a good player underneath, as her coach, Robin Martin, says she plays a lot taller than 5'3" underneath. Field goal or free throw attempt no good for Knox there. Substitutions now. It is Kim Asbury coming in for Columbia International for Siemens. Second shot is true. It's 52-36 in favor of Columbia International. It is Schur coming in, Renee Schur for the Owls. And she is playing in place of Bodner right now. Can't get it on there. Here come the Rams underneath. Can't get the shot to fall. McCurry winds up with the basketball with 8 minutes remaining. Hall here wide open for three. Her shot a little bit short. Davis, the rebound for Columbia International. Now 8 minutes remaining in the game. 52-37 is the score. Top of the key. There's Knox in the wing. Get it inside. D'Souza from 16, count it. I have D'Souza unofficially now with 8 points and a 54-37 lead for the Columbia International Cagers. Long shot there by Glenn, didn't go. Nice rebound for Hall. The Owls trying to cut the deficit to 15, or will it be 14? Shot there by Oglesby. They're going to give her 3. 7th three-point field goal, and down by 14. You figure that Warren Wilson will be trying that a lot more. 7th three-point field goal for the Owls. 15 on the shot clock with 6:54 remaining. Knox, her shot doesn't fall. Jones trying to get the rebound. Hall fighting her. And there's a case, alternating possession will favor Columbia International, but there's a case with Jones 5'5", but underneath, Hall able to get the alternating possession. Now it'll still belong to Columbia International, but she fought a rebound, someone that's 2 inches taller than she is, showing what Coach Martin said. She plays a lot taller than the 5'3" underneath. Still a fresh 30, which is down to 19 for Columbia International. Trying to drive, but doesn't fall. It gets in underneath the Davis. She doesn't like what she sees. Gets it to Jones. Jones, her shot won't fall. Rebound underneath. Making it with a foul is Hairston. This will be Hairston's first time on the free throw line. I think they're going to get Jacina Hall for that. And the free throw attempt by Hairston is long. First time she's been on charity stripe today. She has 12 points. 6:17 remaining, a 16-point lead for the Rams of Columbia International. Hall getting to McCurry. McCurry wants three, won't get it. Rebound, fight for it. Whistle blows, pushing. This one will go to Columbia International. Rebecca Hairston with the foul. Excuse me, this one will go to Columbia International. I'm sorry, Rebecca Hairston called for a foul on defense. Her first personal. Forgive me, I thought that one was on. I thought they pointed to Warren Wilson and that, but I am incorrect. Gives me time to tell you that that is Oglesby shooting three, but a whistle blows. Somebody was pushing underneath, and it was an Owl. Foul be on Lindsay Bodner back in the game. My guess is if she follows football, she probably roots for either the Steelers or possibly the Browns, being from Toronto, Ohio. It's right above Steubenville, but again, one of the greats of the game, Clark Hinkle, one time back in the 40s, he was the all-time leading rusher in the NFL, also from Toronto, Ohio. And if you're wondering why we're talking about who the leading rusher was up until Steve Van Buren broke the mark in 49 of about 3,800 yards, it's because the score right now is 56-40 in favor of Columbia International. Tammy Holder is right now the discussing this. The official is Terrell Hume. She's trying to discuss. Referee today is Debbie Schwartz. Rick Aris, the other official today. And are we going to see, what is there? A 1-and-1 here, as it's in the bonus, a foul here, and I'm trying to determine who it is on. And it appears to be on Ashbury. That'll be her second foul. And so Bodner will go to the stripe. Way down along the Ohio River, and this one is good. Bodner 3 of 5. She now has 11 points on the game. Came in averaging just over 8. She makes that one as well. The deficit 14 points. Here come the Rams. Knox. An errant pass to Souza, but she can only get in the backfield. She's saying no, no. An opposing player, namely Glenn, touched it. However, Mr. Aris does not agree. And so Warren Wilson basketball. Substitution being made. It looks like Knox coming in. Oh no, Knox a little bit late to come in on defense. So Owls can cut the deficit here to 12 with 5.5 left. Hall, left wing. Glenn trying, Columbia International challenging the Owls to shoot from three. They don't seem to want to do it. 6 on the shot clock. Hall, long range shot. Doesn't go. Knox beating out Bodner for the rebound. 5 minutes to play. Tammy Holder telling her team to tick some time away. But here comes a steal. Oglesby intercepting the pass. Coast to coast, the layup. Oh, it's a little bit too much. Rebound goes to Asbury of the Rams. Whistle blows. And it'll be a foul on Oglesby, and that will be the 10th foul, second on Oglesby, 10th foul for Warren Wilson. And so from here on out, whenever there's a foul, Columbia International will shoot 2. 4:44 remaining. First time Ashbury's been on the charity stripe. 5'9" junior. Makes the first one. Second free throw attempt. Count it. 58-42 the score in favor of the Columbia International University Rams. Underneath Bodner. Bodner, she can't get it to fall. Rams the rebound, 4.5 left. Davis, top of the key. This is Knox. Knox ticking it down. 8 left on the shot clock. Runs into Bodner. Foul, I think, is going to be called on the Buckeye State native. And that'll be her 4th, so she may have to ride the pine now. Or if you prefer, the Buckeye. Substitution as the shot falls in for Knox. She's now 3 of 3 from the free throw line. 59-42, Columbia International with the advantage. Coming into the game, it's Sasha Miller, the 5'9 junior. Actually winds up inbounding the pass because the second free throw is good. Knox now with 10 points. An 18-point advantage for the Columbia International Rams. Less than 4 to play. McCurry wants 3. Won't go. Rebound for Knox and the Rams. 3:41 left. It's inside to Davis. Shot here from the corner. That is D'Souza. D'Souza can't get it to fall. Rebound goes to the Owls. Keela McCurry, the 5'6 freshman. Coming off a 17-point game is McCurry. She only has 5 today. Shot does not fall. Whistle blows. Foul is going to be on Jacinta Hall, and that's bad news for the Owls. Again, that's her 4th foul. With 3:19 left and an 18-point deficit, I'm thinking that Robin Martin may just elect to keep her out onto the court. What does she have to lose? And that's exactly what's going to happen. As Rebecca Harrison goes out and will shoot a couple of free throws, misses the first one. Some 5'9 freshman from Charleston, South Carolina. Northside Christian High School, to be exact. Looks like Asbury is checking out of the game. We'll have some new substitutions. I'll try to set the 5 here. Hairston, Davis. Shot there is good. A 19-point advantage for the Rams. 13 points for Hairston. She's averaging about 14 coming into the game. Get it inside to Hall. Also out on the court, as this shot is way wild, it's Tia Evans getting some time, as well as Carrie Jones. That's Evans right there, and of course, Knox. Knox with 2.5 left to play and 10 on the shot clock. They're urging her to do something with 4 on the clock, and a whistle blows. 2 seconds left on the clock. And it looks like we may have had a walking call, I believe. Both teams in the bonus. So turnover here. Warren Wilson down by 19. Looks like they will fall to 3 and 5 as the Rams will end a 5-game losing streak. Raven Fleming thinking about coming back in for Columbia International. And we should have a substitution. I think O'Brien might be coming back in. Or is that Miller for the Owls? As Hall, let's go, a long shot. Give her 3. And the deficit cut to 16. 61-45. For Hall, her 3rd 3-point field goal. The game has 11 points on the day. So get another bucket and she'll exceed her scoring average. Trying to get it underneath. This is Davis. Davis won't fall. Long rebound. Give it to Hall. And the Owls. 1:41 left. They're down by 16. McCurry into the corner. It's Glenn trying to get it inside. This is number 13, and that is Miller, and Sarah Miller is fouled. Tia Evans will be called for the foul. Eighth foul called on Columbia International. We'll see, the substitution should come in. Shot does not fall for Miller. She is a Georgia native. Substitution now, Davis being taken out. Davis for Raven Fleming. Davis with 13 points. Free throw doesn't fall. Rebound goes to Knox and the Rams. Minute and a half left to play. Rams comfortably ahead, 61-45. Evans back into the game is Raven Fleming. See her at the charity stripe. Knox trying to tick off clock. 10 seconds remaining. Shot here won't fall. Rebound goes to Warren Wilson with 66 seconds remaining. McCurry with the rebound. Chance to cut it to 14, but the game pretty much decided right now. Trying for individual honors right now. Long three there by Hall. Doesn't fall. Rebound. Give it to Evans. And here comes Columbia International. Well, Raven Fleming with 6 points on the game. A steal here. 41 seconds remaining. Glenn dishes it off to Hall. Hall, the layup, count it, and I believe there's a foul. Evans, her second foul, in very short order. Well, that gives Hall 13 points on the game. Coming out is Knox. Coming in for Columbia International, Abigail Stevens. So the local product will be able to, from Asheville Christian Academy, probably finish out the 37 seconds. He's joined on the charity stripe as this free throw is good, and Hall now with 14 points on the game by Fleming. Full court pressure in. What do they got to lose? 13 points down with 30 seconds left. The turnover there. McCurry's three. Count it. Well, at least it'll look good. In the end, 8 points now for McCurry. Coast to coast underneath. Will she get her first bucket? No. Evans can't get it to fall. 17 seconds left. This is Glenn. Give her a three. It's a 7-point game, but 13 seconds remaining. Timeout is called here by Warren Wilson. So a 7-point deficit now, but you're trying to figure out how would it be possible? How? Well, let's try to imagine a scenario here. Stealing an inbounds pass, perhaps a long one. Shooting a three. There are 4 timeouts remaining for Warren Wilson. They've got enough to be able to stop the clock when they want to. That would cut it to 4. And then you would have to hope for another 3 with a foul almost. Columbia International a little bit late getting out. Their veteran coach, Tammy Holder. Holder played collegiately at William and Mary. This was during the, shall we say, the introductory era of NCAA recognition of women's basketball, as the ball fought for underneath. Alternating possession, I think, is called, and Columbia International will get the ball with 9.5 seconds left. Actually, it'll be, I thought the Yarrow favored the Owls, so a chance. They're down by 7 with 9.5 left. They've got the timeouts. It's just going to be extremely difficult. Shoot a three-pointer. It's short for Glenn. Rebound. This one goes to the Rams. That should do it. And just to complete the story, as we may see another foul as the time goes out, Tammy Holder getting the victory. She's gone from, she says, I think I had the world's record for fouling Nancy Lieberman when I played at William & Mary. We were big rivals of Old Dominion during that introductory era of NCAA basketball. Now she records the 9th victory in the history of Columbia International women's basketball, a 61-54 triumph against the Warren Wilson Owls. The Rams go to 4-6. They end their 5-game losing streak, and they sweep the Warren Wilson Owls. Warren Wilson dropping back on November 4th, a 73-67 decision to the Rams. The Owls, they're now 3-5. Their next game, and we'll have it here on Friday, will be against Johnson U, the Royals, who are 7-1 coming into today's game against the Bob Jones University. The women will then play MACU at 1 p.m. on Saturday. We'll have both those games on the Owls Network. But the next game you can watch on the Owls Network, and my new friend Chris Sheeman will be giving you that play-by-play as he'll be healthy. It'll be against Lees McRae. Let's give you a quick statistical rundown. Leading scorers of the game, well, for Warren Wilson, let's give you those first, because this is the Owls Sports Network. Jacina Hall with 14 points in the game. Lindsey Bodner with 12. So both those two players exceeding their scoring averages. Keela McCurry with 9. Shea Glenn with 9. Tashi Oglesby with only 8. And the Shea Glenn I wanted to mention with 9. Remember, in the first game between these two teams, she had 25. So there's a big reason there, holding her in check. She was only 3 of 12 from the field. 2 points on the game for Sasha Miller. For the Columbia International Rams, their leading scorer was Atia Knox with 14 points. Rebecca Hairston, 13 points for her. Ann Davis with 11. 9 points for Makita D'Souza. 6 points for Raven Fleming. Abigail Siemens with 4. Carrie Jones with 2. And Kim Ashbury 2. Again, our final score was 61-54. Columbia International ending their 5-game losing streak here in front of a crowd of, I'd say, approximately 175 people. Official attendance not given. So, Warren Wilson falling to 3-5. And again, you can watch them on the Owls Network against Johnson and Friday at 7, or if you prefer men's basketball, Thursday at 7, the men of Warren Wilson will play Lees McRae. Folks, I'm Marky Bilson, enjoying the pinch hitting role. I'd like to thank everybody for having me. So, for Chris Sheeman, and of course, Wilson Broadwell, so long, everyone.